Hello, good afternoon. You're welcome to Keeping It Real on Health Issues with Nurse Oke. We have been here for some time. It's been long we've seen. How has your day been? How is everybody? We thank God for life. And today, we shall be discussing what I tag sperm leakages after sex. Sperm leakages after sex. When we are talking about sperm leakages, what do we mean? A lot of people believe if after sexual intercourse there is a leakage of sperm, that it might not be possible for them to conceive. But I just want to tell you this afternoon that sperm leakages post-sex is very, very normal. It is not abnormal, though there are some causes that might really cause sperm leakages, and it might lead to infertility. But it is not a major cause of infertility. It's not a major worry when it comes to infertility. So talking about the cervix. The cervix opens up sometimes, not all the times. It's usually closed. And when we are talking about cervix, is the road after the vagina, is the road to the uterus before the fallopian tubes. That is the point of fertilization. So during sex, what happens those times that I told you that a cervix opens? One, when the woman is pregnant, is about to give birth, is the cervix that they test. You hear your midwife or your doctor saying 2 centimeters, 4 centimeters, 3 centimeters, like that, because they are trying to know how progressive your labor is, to be able to know if the cervix can open to accommodate the head of the baby. It opens up that time. It opens up during the menstrual cycle, during the menstruation period. If the menstrual cycle gets prepared in the uterus or with all the hormonal stuff and all that, it comes out from it comes into the uterus before the vagina, and it will pass through the cervix, because the cervix is like the entrance of the uterus before all the other parts in the uterus. Then apart from that, it opens up when the woman is having sex, when it's copulating with the husband. It's the cervix that will open immediately. The penis is hard, there is penetration, the cervix open up to be able to absorb that which is coming from the ejaculation. Then the other time the cervix open is the time that there is dilatation and curettage, which is D and C, according to the medical personnel, that they have to dilate, first open the uterus, so that when the uterus is first open, then they will be able to at least dilate. It has been properly dilated. Then they bring out the content of the uterus, which is the abortion. Or maybe it can be therapeutic, or maybe you don't want the baby or something. Those are the times that the cervix naturally opens up. So, but for some time, some people think if they are having sperm leakages post-sex, that it leads to infertility. Yes, it can lead to infertility, but it's not a major cause of worry. Now, firstly, what are the reasons? What are the causes? What do we think are the causes that can lead to sperm leakages post-sex? Number one, there is a antiverted. The uterus naturally is supposed to be antiverted in nature. It's not supposed to be at back. It's not supposed to be at front. There is a way that uterus is being placed. When uterus is being placed in such a place, when the sperm comes in, the sperm comes in through the right way and is maintained. It maintains the status quo. But when there is a problem with the uterus, when there is a retroverted uterus, retroverted as in the uterus is placed at the back or is tilted away from the normal position, as soon as the ejaculate is released, it comes out and there will be sperm leakage. Definitely that kind of a woman, except she undergoes some surgery for the corrective surgery, the pregnancy cannot quickly take place. Then apart from that, we have internal heat. Internal heat for some people that are having tumor or fibroid. If there's fibroid in the uterus, the hormonal system in the body will be compromised. The hormonal system will not go the usual way that it's supposed to go. And what is the result? The result is that there will be heat, and the content of the ejaculate, the sperm that is supposed to be okay, that has the full everything that is quality, will be liquefied. It will turn to liquid, and can, as such, immediately it gets into the body, it comes out as sperm leakages. Then at times, apart from that, another thing that can happen under the cause is infection. When there is PID, we call it pelvic inflammatory disorders. Pelvic inflammatory disorders mean when there is infection of one or more organs in the uterus. Like in the uterus, we have the fallopian tubes, we have the cervix is composed of, we have the vagina, we have the uterus itself and all that. And what happens if there is any compromise, or if any one of these things are compromised? Maybe there is infection that is not properly taken care of, or it has not been taken care of at all. What happens? It ingresses, it becomes systemic into the whole of the uterus. And what does that mean? That there will be the uterus will be compromised. Thereby, the infection will make the vagina area, the uterus area, to be acidic in nature. And sperm cannot stand acidity. It thrives better in an alkaline situation. That is the pH. It will be alkaline for the sperm to be able to stand. And this sperm we are talking about, it is divided into three parts. 1, the head. 2, the head, the body, and the tail. The head now, what does the head do? The head is the one that fills with the ovum. It fills with the egg in the fallopian tube. The egg has been released, fine. The egg is waiting for the sperm. Then the body is the propeller. The body is the energy. It's the one that does all the running. It's the one that does all the work. It's active here more than every other one. Then the third part is the tail. And what does the tail do? The tail acts as the motor point. It's the one that propels. It pushes like swimming. If any of these three, maybe the head, the body, or the tail is not fine or is being challenged, what happens is that the sperm will not be able to move as it's supposed to move. Then your dietary short, especially for the women. If your dietary short is high glycemic diet, you like sugary things, you go for the high carbohydrate, the fructose, the sucrose. That's the most thing that you tend to eat. What happens at the end of the day? The cervix, the cervical mucus that is supposed to be thin, to be able to accommodate the sperm, the quality sperm that is coming for ovum to fix together with for the egg, the sperm to fix with the egg. What happens? The environment, because the cervical mucus is too thick, the sperm cannot take it. The sperm cannot swim in it because it's thick like a starch, or it's thick like pap. It cannot move inside it. During ovulation, the cervical mucus is too thin out. The purpose is to be able to accept and accommodate the sperm that is coming. So those are the things that we can say it causes it. Then if the sperm itself is of low quality, let's say the sperm is of low quality, all the things that are supposed to there, maybe it's supposed to be between 2 million and 40 million cells. If a man is having less than that, it can be oligospermia, that is low sperm count. They can have azoospermia, the absence of any viable sperm in all the ejaculate that this man has released. And putting it in mind, out of the 100% that the ejaculates, the composition of ejaculate, only 5% is composed of the sperm itself, while the 95% is composed of the seminal fluid, the different kind of fluid that the body produces, that the body manages and manufactures for onward movement into the uterus, so that the sperm can move. So if there is any compromise in your cervical mucus, number one, as a woman, you should be able to drink a minimum of 6 to 8 glasses of water per day. Then you change your diet to involve more of protein, vitamins, and mineral salts. Because there is no how sperm can thrive in a place that has that is not okay, as in too thick for it to move. Then the low sperm quality, if a man has proper diagnosis and you are sure that the man has low quality sperm, what happens? The man has to be properly diagnosed and properly treated to be able to retain, so that by the time the ejaculate comes on, the man is able to push the sperm. The sperm is going to be able to move at least freely into the appropriate point. Apart from this dietary choice, we have talked about then the positioning. The positioning matters, because when there is copulation between the couple, between you and your spouse, what happens is the copulation, what style are you using? If you are waiting for a baby, you don't have to assume the position of maybe standing facing each other when you are making love. You can't assume the position of sitting while you're making love. The best position could be the rear position, which some people call it doggy style, because when you do that, there's full penetration into the vagina, into the cervix, and the sperm will go straight. If the sperm is qualitative, if the environment is right, and the woman too, her cervical mucus is thinned out and it's good, what do? It goes straight into the cervix, up to the uterus, and move into the fallopian tube for good fertilization to take place. So if you're having internal heat, there is any tumor, there is any fibroid, there will be sperm leakages. We are going over it again. If you have infection like pelvic inflammatory disorder, whereby one or more organs in the uterus are being affected, it might return your sperm for you the way it came in, and it will be returned. Then we talked about positioning. The way you position yourself matters when it comes to sex. So that all the sperm that is supposed to be used up will not be leaked out. Then we have talked about the dietary choices, especially for women. You don't have to go on the higher carbohydrate side. You don't have to go on the higher sugar diet to make babies. But they can work for some, but for some it might not work at all. So those are the things, some of those things that might likely cause what we call sperm leakages post-sex. But it's not a death sentence. What do? There are a lot of ways out for you to cope if you have sperm leakages post-sex. One, you have to time the sex. Okay? When it is time for sex, we are going to have sex for like 5 to 10 minutes. The first thing that you do after that timing is make sure the man penetrates deeper than what it was when you were starting ab initio. Before the penis go flaccid, it was rigid ab initio when you were starting. So you don't want to leave this penis. You are aiming at something. You want babies. You want to make babies. What do? You make sure there is a standard penetration when the man is about to ejaculate, so that it will be able to enter the appropriate places for fertilization to take place. Secondly, that's on the male part. Then the female part, immediately after the intercourse, you don't have to rush off to the bathroom. I want to go and wash up. I'm going there. No, you take it easy. You spend like 10 to 20 minutes, or if you have the time, if you're not in a hurry, you can spend 20 to 30 minutes. Slightly raise your hip, as if you want to put your 2 legs up, as if you are in the labor room. You want to push. You put the 2 legs up and you slightly raise it. If you're not good at raising your legs up, you can raise your hip up. You can use pillow to support your back during love making. So at the end of the day, what we are trying to achieve is to make sure that the sperm gets to the appropriate place for fertilization to take place. Then apart from that, the other thing that is good is during orgasm. The sexual climax, what does it do? By the time you are climaxing, as a woman, we know that the man is going to reach climax, either he likes it or not, because he's going to come. But the woman, what we do is, during the time, if you're able to reach orgasm, good for you. Because the orgasm assists the muscles of the pelvic, it strengthens it. And when the muscles of the pelvic is strengthened, the accommodation, the strength to accommodate the ejaculate that is coming is like 85%. So it is a good thing if you are both, either you and the man climax together, or you are climaxing first before the man. But what it does to you as the woman is to make sure that the muscles of your pelvis are so strong, are strengthened, and be able to receive the sperm that is on the way. Then apart from that, on this issue, there are certain drugs that we use. We are not here consulting about drugs or something, but there are some vitamins that we can use that can be used to correct this thing, like garlic. You eat more of garlic. Apart from garlic, grapefruit is another one. Grapefruit is another one that can help. It helps so very well. You can take it in the morning, just mix it with a little warm water, you drink it. Your castor oil, very perfect. Just 1 spoon. If you are going, let's say you are meeting, you are with your spouse and you plan making love. Okay, maybe you are the type that plans it. Okay, baby, we are going to meet tomorrow. Then make sure, like today, maybe in the morning, just like 5 ml of your castor oil is already there, and you mix it with warm water apart from your grapefruit, and you are good to go. Then if there are infections, overwhelming sepsis, like the pelvic inflammatory disease, what do? You make sure you are properly treated. Don't go to people that will give you one concussion or the other. Don't go to people. Some of us, most of this problem that we are having is due to the we are ignorance. We are ignorance of our health. If they say somebody has got this, I've been experiencing this, and somebody said I've been to a concussion woman, and this is what the person gave me. I've taken gin or Chelsea or wine or something, and it worked for me. Because it works for you does not mean it will work for. It's like somebody that has gonorrhea, and the person has gone to meet a concussion woman. I tell you, in another 3 years, the complication of that concussion is coming, because there is no how concussion can properly treat gonorrhea or the sexually transmitted disorder and all that. So you have to make sure that one is settled. Whatever infection, treat it appropriately, treat it promptly. Not only appropriately, make sure it is prompt, not until it has spoiled something or the infection has spread. There is systemic infection and there's localized infection. When you have a localized infection, it's just in one point that it can be concentrated upon. But when you have a overwhelming sepsis or infection that is systemic, it means from your head to the toe, it has ingressed, it has refluxed all over your body. So let's take our health serious. Let's take our health challenges. Most of these women that are having infertility problems today is a result of our maybe ignorance some years back, or maybe we knew, maybe finances, or maybe bad advice from people that are not in the knowing like us. So we have to treat any vaginal infection, make sure it is properly treated. Any infection, no matter how small that you think is small, don't overlook it. Don't make oversight be your problem, because ignorance is no excuse. It's your body, it's your life. So you make sure that those things are treated promptly, and not only that, appropriately. Then this sex position, like I said before, is rear position or doggy style. When you do that, it gives room for deeper penetration from the man, and the sperm, the whole content of the sperm will be released, and it will go to the appropriate place for fertilization to take place. Then mind you, the diet that we talked about, your diet has to be, when we talk about balanced diet, we mean the taking off of all classes of food, all classes of diet. We have the carbohydrate, we have the protein, we have the fat and oil, we have the mineral salt, we have the vitamins and all that, and water, which was added lately, because most of us are guilty of that. We don't like water. We prefer minerals, all those juice that we have, because it's sweet. So what do? You make sure that your diet, you are waiting for babies, you want to make babies. What do? Make sure that you are okay. Make sure that your diet is comprising, not big diets, not the quantity. We're not talking about the quantity, but what is the quality of that food you are eating? What is the quality? It's not about the big money that I have spent so much money on this. No. It's about what is the quality. Is it encompassing? Is it all encompassing? Can we meet little bit of carbohydrates because you need energy? Little fat and oil because of your cholesterol? Little protein? Little mineral salts? Little vitamins and water? Because without all this one inadequate proportion, your body cannot function normally. There will be malfunctioning of your blood. Like some mineral salts, they are the one that we use for contractility of the heart. Then some diets we have to take for good egg to be released even in your body before a quality sperm will come and attract it, because before there will be fusion of the ovum for you to have babies. So your diet is very, 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 very important. So having gone through it, you must make sure you see your physician. Do all manners of tests, the hormonal assays. They want to know how your body is. Are all the hormones in your body, are they in the right parameters? If you are supposed to have estrogen like 50%, is it okay? If you are supposed to have prolactin of 10%, is it more than that or lesser than that? If you are supposed to have testosterone of 15%, is it lower or greater than? Because testosterone is an hormone, is a male sex hormone. But we as women, we are supposed to have at least little percentage. Likewise, men too, they are supposed to have little percentage of that testosterone. So the doctor has to examine you. Am I in the right proportion? Is everything in the right parameters before you start running helter-skelter? I treated a couple that have been waiting on babies for like 3 years, 5 years, and they have gone all around this hormonal hotels. They said they were okay, and they resorted spiritually. They were going from one church to the other. But I tell you, the day I met them, it was during a church service, and we met, and I asked them questions. And the only question I asked, I said, when do you make love? With all these tests, everything, the investigations were okay. When do you meet? And the husband was the one that spoke and said, immediately after menstruation, they move. So if it's on the first that menstruation finishes, they give a day. I don't know who taught them that. Then they start making love on the third day, which are the time that the body is resting. Because our menstrual cycle goes like a cycle, just like the clock. From 12 o'clock, that's the time you have your period. Then by the time you are in like 12:15, cyclically like that, what happens? The body has finished the period. Then from that 12:15, you are moving down to 12:30. What happens is that the body is trying to prepare for the release of egg that you need for fertilization. Then by that 12:12, by 12:15, the body is perfect already, waiting for you. Everything is in abundance for the egg, the male germ cells, to come and meet it up. So when you are now making love, and I asked the question, I laughed at them, and do you know, the second day into our chats, into our discussion, our meetings, they got pregnant because they had no problems. Because they have not met the person that can talk to them. They have not met the person that can really go down and know what is happening. Everything is not about concussion. Everything is not about investigation. When people tell you something, you go out, find out. Find out. Don't take all manners of things in your body. Don't drink all manner of things that can even finish your body. And perhaps you are having challenges. Somebody has impregnated you and the person is not responsible. Somebody has impregnated you and is single and removing, and you are bent on keeping this pregnancy, or you really want to remove the pregnancy. Don't go to quacks. Quacks cause a lot of things like pelvic adhesion. They give you all manners of infection that will form scare. You know, when there is a scare, when you have a cut, and it's not a scare that you can see physically in our body. They give you scaring in your uterus, in your private part. And what happens? Those things it can lead to pelvic adhesion. When your pelvic, all the organs in the pelvic that are supposed to be separated, they are joined together. When there's adhesion, it's joined together. There won't be any passage for the ejaculate to come in, thereby leading to infertility. We are still going to be discussing infertility properly, because I know a certain percentage of people, higher percentage of people are going through this, especially in this part of the world, when making babies, having babies is like the first priority in our marriages, unlike the Western world that they can even marry and say, no, we don't have babies, I love you, let's go into relationship. So we are going to be discussing infertility properly. But because of what I did about 3 weeks ago on premature ejaculation, on popular request, that's why I'm coming up with this sex leakage, sperm leakage post-sex. And I told you initially, it is very, very normal. Because immediately the penis becomes soft. The cervix closes up and the remaining comes into the vagina, and vagina cannot keep it, and the vagina brings it out. That is why you have sperm leakages. So it's not a death sentence. It is not a problem. If you have any challenge, you are going through infertility, you are going through problem, maybe the in-laws have even told you they are not your God. Just hold on there. You might be closer than you think. Don't ever give up. The only person that has no hope is that person that is either inside the mortuary, either inside the grave. Even the person that is on life support can still come round. So for your situation, it's not the end of the world. If you need any question, any counseling, just call us on this number 080-5129-4235. I repeat again, 080-5129-4234. Till I come your way. Stay blessed, stay hopeful, and never be give up. God's time is always there for you. Bye-bye.